everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where you boys always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I am your host, Nicholas Blaylock.
And I'm your host, Adam Peddle, and today, guys, these are the biggest questions surrounding the Toronto Blue Jays this offseason. We're going to get into all the details. Before we do, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube video. And TODAYJAYS is the code for Betstamp. Use it to sign up. It's completely free. If you love betting, you'll love Betstamp. Link is in the description. All right, Nick, so what are some questions that we got to answer as the Toronto Blue Jays?
Okay, so we're sitting here right now. I feel like we've had enough time to process what just transpired. It still stings, obviously, thinking about it, but you know what? We can discuss.
Okay.
We got to do something about the rotation. Barrios, not it right now. Kikuchi, I don't know.
Oh, God, I don't want to get into that, man.
Stripling, probably gone, right? Big question right here. How do we address the starting pitching rotation? There's a lot of different avenues you can go here. You can trade. You can sign. You can bring up Ricky Tiedemann. Is he ready to go? You know, it's like, but this is all of the stuff that we're going to see. We're going to find out with these guys. You know, how do we do this?
Well, I mean, you could go the free agency route, but I think as we've talked before on this channel, there's a bit of question mark whether Rogers is going to spend the money for some starting pitchers. And are they going to spend big, like on a real big guy like DeGrom or Verlander, when you've already spent big on Barrios and Gosman, and you got to spend big on Manoah too?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? And I mean, that also kind of ties into like, well, how do we fix it? Like, are they going to do that or are they not going to do that? But I personally don't think so. I think that if we do go free agent route, then it's like, well, we might get like a smaller dude,
and like screw
like a little like $7-8 million guy, and unless he blows up and does awesome, which I'm not saying is impossible, because we saw Robbie Ray do that with us. It could absolutely happen, right? But it's obviously a little bit less likely than a sure thing like a Jacob deGrom. And if we don't do that, then who do we trade for? How do we get, it's like, we need to do something to address this. And I'll tell you right now, doing nothing, that's the wrong answer.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the wrong answer.
I can't be trusting Ricky Tiedemann as hyped as he's being, as all the reports are coming out of like AA right now, but I just can't trust that right now. And a guy who's ready to pitch right now, I think my preferred answer is you got to make a trade. You have all these assets in catcher. You have all these assets in your minor league system. Like, send one of them away, right? You can even send away Tio or Lord and get back a younger guy with control. Maybe not someone like Mitch White. Maybe someone a little bit better than Mitch White. Make it happen, guys, because we need someone to pitch now.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, for me, the preferred route to go is like a little bit of all three. Give me a little trade. Give me a little signing. Give me a little Ricky Tiedemann action. You know, it's like, I feel like if you throw all three of those darts, one of them's bound to hit. And in that regard, it's like, okay, cool. We covered our bases. Just don't do nothing. Second big question here for these Toronto Blue Jays this whole offseason. It's everything surrounding the catchers. It's what's happening with Kirk, what's happening with Jansen. Is one of them getting traded? And I think the best way to kind of evaluate this is, are we converting Gabriel Moreno to another position? Because if we do, we're probably not going to trade one of our catchers.
No,
if we do.
No.
But if we don't, then I think it answers the question of, are we going to get rid of them? And if so, which one? It's like, I feel like that right there is a big pivotal piece into deciding that.
Well, let's talk about the Gabriel Moreno whole thing about converting him to another position. There was rumors of him working out in the outfield, right? He actually played one outfield game when the games didn't really matter for us near the end. And that was super cool to see because, okay, well, it's smart.
Yes.
You got Tio and Lord coming up on their one-year deals. Okay, maybe you trade one of them this offseason. And that opens up an immediate hole to put someone like Gabriel Moreno over there. Now, you do lose out on the big pop time and the catching ability, but here's the thing. He's got a bat that I want to see in that lineup, and if his bat's going to be just as good as Lourdes and a lot cheaper, and we're going to revert back the clock, maybe we get some more assets as well in return for Lourdes, like some pitching we're just talking about. This is a smart deal to do, and I'm a big fan of that idea in itself.
For me, I've always been in the train, guys, of like, let's just trade Gabriel Moreno because we have our guys. I feel like if we're talking about, question number one is how do we fix the rotation? Well, a big answer to that could be trading Moreno for Pablo Lopez. Boom, done, problem solved, you know. But if we don't do that, then I want to see him in the outfield.
Yeah,
I feel like that's got to be the answer, right? Because I don't think that we're going to be signing both Tio and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. back, which sucks to say. In fact, it's possible that we might even lose both of them. And if that's going to happen, God forbid, we need to have some sort of plan B to fall back on.
Yeah.
Gabriel Moreno, like #1 prospect in all of baseball, not a horrible plan B.
It's not horrible because you can't convert Kirk to the
No,
outfield.
you can't convert Kirk, and
can't
Danny
convert
Jansen's
Jansen.
too far
He's
gone
too
at this
far gone.
point.
Yeah.
So Moreno would definitely be the dude. And let's face it, guys. I mean, I know that this isn't like an apples to apples thing, but this was the #1 prospect in baseball. If he is that good and that talented of an athlete, you have to believe that some of that defensive prowess that he had behind the plate, maybe he rediscovers that in the field.
He could have a cannon out in left field, just like Lourdes.
Exactly, right? It's good, he's just a good player and a good athlete, right? So I feel like it is still possible to do that. And if we do, then maybe a catcher doesn't get traded. But if we don't, watch Twitter, everybody, because somebody's going.
And watch this channel. We'll be going live.
Literally. Third big question for these Toronto Blue Jays is, how do we deal with the bullpen? We got the starting pitching. We got this catcher situation. How are we going to deal with that bullpen? David Phelps is coming off the books right here. He's probably gone for good.
Gone.
We had a better bullpen. Still not the best. We're seeing these other teams right now. Philly's kind of an anomaly. So, GG Phillies, you're giving me hope. But most of the top-tier teams, they have the best bullpens in the league.
Well,
I'm going to be a top-tier team. How do we fix it?
Well, we talked about this on another podcast. I'll bring it up right here. You got to go make a big splash. Look, we've been trying to trade for these mid guys. I'm not saying that, Bass is mid. Simber, he's kind of mid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we have other people in the Mesa. We grew him up. He's kind of mid. I'm tired of mid. I want big flamethrowers. I want big names. I want Edwin Diaz. That's who I want in the bullpen.
Yeah.
I guarantee you bring Edwin Diaz there with Romano and Bass. You have that as your three-headed dragon.
It's just everybody gets pushed down.
Everyone else gets pushed down. Now I'm pitching people like Jimmy Garcia in the 6th inning.
What?
Who was the only good bullpen guy, may I remind you, in that game too? Amazing.
That's
we need to do a big
insanity,
move.
right?
I think we need to go make a big splash. That's the big move I want to see this offseason if we're going to make one in free agency.
Yeah, and again, to answer this and give you the wrong answer is to do nothing. Please, for the love of God, Rogers, it is a problem. It's been a problem. I love that you guys, dealt with all of this offense and got us all these great players, but this has been something that we've been talking about on this channel, that analysts have been talking about, that you guys have been talking about for literally years, right? We've never had a top-tier bullpen. Get us it.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 4, big question for the Toronto Blue Jays. Which of the young players is getting extended first? We've heard rumors. They're in talks. They want to get it done if possible. Which one is it going to be, and is it even going to happen, right? I think that is a question that we're going to be talking about all offseason.
100%. I can comment a little bit right now. Look, Vladdy has got to be the #1 guy for me. He's already getting into his 2nd year of arbitration.
So he's already going to get paid.
He's already getting paid, and this year is projected around $15 million.
Yeah.
You might as well get ready to talk up his agent, call him up on the phone, and ask him what does Vladdy need to be a Blue Jay long term. Vladdy is the face of the team. There's no question about it. He's the face of the team. He's got the personality. He's got the skills. And he's got potential to be one of the greatest for a while. Now, I think we should lock him up right away. I know a lot of people are going to say Alek Manoah, who's my personal favorite player. But he's just not at that point yet where Rogers, it just doesn't make sense. Why am I going to pay him a lot right now when he's so cheap? Vladdy's the obvious one guy for me. You could say Bo, but he just hasn't proven enough for me. I need Vlad.
For me, guys, I love Alek Manoah, but the only thing that kind of would make sense for me to lock up an Alek Manoah, you got to lock him up further than his ARB years.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Am I comfortable giving, a 24-year-old, 23-year-old pitcher, 24?
24, 25.
Turning 25, 25-year-old pitcher, a 10-year deal for, what would have to be $200 million at least?
Yeah,
Here's the thing. I love him. I love what he's done. But we've seen starting pitchers go on roller coasters. Hell, look what's going on with Jose Barrios right now. I don't think that's going to happen. but starting pitching just feels a bit more volatile than position players do. And I don't know if I'm at a place right now when we have them for so cheap that I want to just lock them up forever.
Yeah.
And like, oh, there's Tommy John, or there's regression, and like GG season.
Unless you're gonna give me a really nice deal, like unless you're gonna give me like a 15 million average annual value or something.
Give me a Sandy Alcantara.
Give me a Sandy Alcantara deal.
Boom,
oh my God,
good.
I'm down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Alec knows his potential and how much he's gonna make, so I don't see him getting paid
And
this
honestly,
offseason.
Honestly, if I'm Alec, keep throwing up zeros, dude. Keep throwing up zeros. The more zeros you throw up, the better your payday is going to be come free agency.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 5, final big question here for the Toronto Blue Jays this offseason. Second base. What's going on? Biggio, Merrifield, Espinal. Hell, you could even lump Bo Bichette in that.
Yeah.
You could even lump fucking Gabriel Moreno into that, right? It's like with what he's doing. Do we trade somebody? Who's going to be our second baseman? Like, we were kind of like cycling through guys all season long.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. Give me a guy there. And if you're not going to do that, like, we have all these dudes that can get traded for a bullpen and starting pitcher.
Here's the thing. Let's talk about the dudes. So you got Merrifield coming back next year. Veteran guy, big presence. And at the end there, he was showing flashes of being elite again.
Literally.
So if you have him and you're paying him, you might as well play the dude, right? So he's got to play. That could be a home for him. But then here's the other problem. You've got Kevin Biggio wasting his potential and trade value there.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for Espinal. Like, if we never traded for Merrifield, I go, oh, it's easy. It's Espinal. Like, screw Biggio. He's off the bench. But now you got 3 guys there. Like, we've been talking about the catchers having 3 guys. Get 3 second basemen out. With who've got some, flexibility.
Absolutely.
And whatever.
And I feel like they're all deserving of like a lot of good starts here.
What I'm thinking, like, you gotta ship one off. And honestly, like, I feel like it's gotta be Espinal, guys. Because I feel like the management's not gonna want to ship away Biggio. He's a lefty. He's young. Espinal's actually gonna be ARB eligible. I believe it's this offseason. So they might do it.
I hear what you're saying. I have to disagree with you, though, man, because just like coming from a standpoint of defense, and especially if they do decide to go the route of maybe we need to turn Bo into a second baseman, Espinal's got to be our guy there who can like lock it in the middle. It's like he's just so good defensively, dude. I mean, this is me speaking personally. I would not want to give him up. I would shop around Biggio. I'd see what you can get there. Like, maybe some teams are still high on him. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know how much value you're going to get, but, like, the reason why the management would just ship away Espinal is I think you might get some decent return. And, plus, he's not even going to... If Merrifield's there at second, where's he going to play?
Or alternatively... you convert one of them to an outfielder. You convert one of them to like a full-time outfielder, and then it's like, all right, like Merrifield, like you're full outfield now. This is Biggio and Espinal, and when Lourdes and Tio decide to go, that's what. Or like Biggio, you're full outfield now. So you could do something like that too. But right now it does feel like there's a tiny bit of a log jam going on. Yeah. So like, figure it out, whether it be trade, whether it be, converting somebody. I don't know.
I really think that the answers are going to come when either Tio Lord gets traded, a catcher gets traded. Once one of those guys move, there's a spot opening up. So then everyone can kind of slide into the new positions and convert there. So there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of questions, as you guys see in this video. We got to go through this offseason and figure out the answers.
Once a move once one thing happens, dominoes are going to fall. Like everything else is going to start falling into place. Guys, let us know your biggest questions down below about these Toronto Blue Jays this offseason. What do you want to see them do? How are we going to improve? I want to know your thoughts down below.
Guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the road to 10K subscribers. So, guys, subscribe to the channel, become part of the community, and also $3 a month to become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to all of our current Patreon members. You guys are absolutely fantastic.
Thank you so much for watching.
And go Jays, go!